we're here at the Imperial War Museum today, just about to set off to the Memorial Arboretum. We've got a number of veterans coming along to engage with a couple of schools of young people that we've been in to visit. So I'm really looking forward to it, and hopefully we can have a fantastic day.
A wonderful day for me. Bring back lots of memories, I'm sure.
I don't think we do enough in this country for veterans, etc. But it'll be nice to have the kids with us, and I'm sure we'll get some odd questions asked. Some we won't probably be able to answer, but nevertheless it'll be it's an experience I'm looking forward to.
I think the aim of this trip is to inform the children of what's happened in the past. I think it's essential that they should know and know it well.
I'm really looking forward to seeing all the different memorials and statues. I want to find out what inspired the veterans to serve. Well, I want to ask what it's like to fire a gun.
I'm looking forward to the most is history because I like history.
I'm really looking forward to today because I've never been here before.
We're really excited and can't wait to meet more veterans and hear about more of their stories. I think that they're very bossy, really, because of how they always marching, and it's a bit like you don't normally see it. And you don't really know what we do for the whole day, so it's going to be a bit of a mystery.
Well, I wasn't quite sure what it would look like. I thought it would just be war things everywhere, but instead it actually came out a bit different to what I thought.
I was expecting lots of gravestones to remember people or plaques and things like that, but when we actually got there, it was trees to remember people. And then in the classroom we learnt that arbor meant trees in French, so that's why I remember people as trees.
I thought it was really about the First World War and Second World War, which it was, but it was also about other wars that happened in different countries.
It was much bigger than I actually expected. I thought it was going to be one big building with one big garden. It actually wasn't. It was a lot of separate places and memorials and statues and things like that.
The Arboretum is so big. It was 90 football fields, and that makes you think how many people have died and fought and helped us it to be that big.
I think people go to the Arboretum because they might have known someone that was in the war, or someone in their family might have been in the war. We just been in a workshop and made some poppies.
We took the poppy apart and we had to put it back together with our other hand because some people in the war didn't have a hand because it got blown off.
Then the lady told us to do it with our eyes closed, and we did this because the members of the armed forces, they make the poppies, and sometimes they can't see or they've lost an arm.
The poppies are important because it reminds us of the soldiers who died. I think it's important to remember them because they might have done a lot for your friends and the family and people around the world and protecting them.
Some of us wouldn't be here today if they hadn't fought for their country.
And what are your names, guys? Let's introduce yourselves. Derek?
Bill?
Bill?
Steve?
And Alan. And what we're going to do is we're going to walk over all together to one of the memorials, which Alan's going to lead the way, so we're all going to go over together. Now, all of these guys are veterans, which we spoke a little bit about last time we came, which means they've all served in the forces. So if you have any questions or anything like that when we're heading over, then feel free to ask those, all right? So we've come to this particular location, which is a garden for all ex-service personnel who have lost limbs serving their country, which is particularly pertinent because we've come from an activity where the young people were assembling poppies and disassembling them with arms behind their backs or eyes closed, and to help them to feel what it's like to live with a disability.
Well, I've just been looking around and I've just found some trees that have been planted in 1994. I like the veterans because they were very kind and they told us loads of information and they didn't shout at you. Before I met the veterans, I felt a bit worried about what they might look like, because they might have looked a bit dirty and like we were doing the poppy thing, the arm might have fell off and the eyes might have got blown away, so I was a bit worried about that. I think the veterans had lots of medals because they done something right. They might have saved somebody from a bad guy, or they could have killed a bad guy.
We had what we call a FIAC incident, so it was as if some people in a small boat were coming in to attack the ship. So because I was part of the response force team, I had to go and get body armour on, a helmet, get a rifle, and basically go to the front of the ship and defend it. So if anybody came, I'd have to shoot at them. And a wave came over the front of the ship and soaked me. I had my rifle there, shook it off, but stupidly I didn't hold my rifle far enough away, so I actually smashed my mouth on the handguard of the rifle.
The young people really enthusiastic and excited about learning about all of these things around them, saying what symbols they're seeing, saying that they're learning more about why Christianity is used to memorialise people, why they're using all these monuments, why there's animals, all those kinds of things. Really exciting.
They're like the regiment, and they look after the airfield. They guard the airfield.
At the Shot of Dawn Memorial, it was quite sad and I was quite shocked how they used to shoot their own soldiers. And these were people that deserted the war because they were really scared, and if I had to tell the truth, I would be really scared, and they might have disobeyed orders or deserted them and not wanted to be in the war.
The statue there was Private Herbert, and he was shot very young age.
We went round looking at all the posts, and the youngest one we found was the age 17. Some of them had age unknown because they'd lied about the age. I thought they lied about the age because they thought it might be like an adventure rather than like scary.
They were tied to poles, blindfolded, and then they had a little marker on the chest and they were shot.
And it made you think how serious they were about being in the war.
You had 6 people from your team, basically, and they were going to shoot you.
I would never shoot my best friend, and I don't think he would want to shoot me.
I wouldn't be too scared, it's just to shoot your own soldier who's been fighting with you would be not right.
Even if they had done something bad, it just still must have been hard because you've known them for such a long time.
It's quite sad knowing that some of them were shot for not doing anything wrong.
It's like a wrestling ring. Is it like a wrestling ring? Yeah. What else? What do you see in the middle, standing up? What's that?
It looks like a stadium. It looks like a stadium.
Guys. What this is a memorial to all of the people who've been killed serving their country after the Second World War.
The main memorial behind us is full of names, hundreds and thousands of names, which is frightening. We all know from history how many people fell, but when you see them listed, one after the other, wall after wall, it really does bring it home, just how many people we lost.
I felt a bit shocked when I went up to it because there was lots of names there and I didn't expect that many people to have died. If I found somebody on there that I knew, I would be a bit upset because it would remind me of them and what they did.
The armed forces are split into the Navy, the Marines, the Air Force and the Army. I didn't know much about each one of them until I met the veterans, and listening to their stories made me think deeper into it.
When you speak of war and people losing lives in war, you automatically presume that it's the Army or the Air Force. You kind of forget about the Navy. But you've got to remember that lives have been lost at sea with ships going down during peacetime and war. So to be remembered in this way means quite a lot to us.
It's an extremely beautiful place. Now I think of people at the armed forces as brave, strong, serious men and women, all who had risked their lives for others.
It's such a huge open space, so many people, but then suddenly so silent.
Some of the names were in my class.
There was a person on the memorial, a name called James, and he was from Manchester in England. And there's a boy in our class called James, and if somebody went away and died, it would make me feel sad, but impressed with them, how they went out to actually help us.
In the Armed Forces Memorial, there was lots of blank spaces, and I think there are blank spaces there because there are always wars going on, maybe not in England, but in different countries that are fighting for the people, and they're going to have to die for the people and maybe for us. This makes me feel quite angry and annoyed that they know thousands of people are going to die in war, but the leaders still want to do it just so they can have something.
I think they have to join the war because they've been told to do it. Some naughty people might have told them to do it, so they had to do it because they had no choice.
The interactive game, I thought it was really good because it got to show how everyone thought differently, and you can see, like, a year ago you would have said something different to your opinion now.
Back before we came into your school, and if I were to have said armed forces to you, what was the first thing you thought of? Was it either fighting in red or peacekeeping blue? Ready, go.
I always thought war as fighting. But now there's many different things that flow in the path of war.
I thought the veterans were more than just brave, strong and serious. At the weekend, they tried finding out like the football scores, and they will get TNT and place them in a field and blow it up just to look at. So it wasn't all fighting and action.
I think the veterans, they greatly appreciate all the little things in life, unlike some of us, because we just think that being able to watch the football, we just think that's always going to be there. But for some of the veterans, in some of their stories, they couldn't wait for it, and it was like something massive to them.
I want you to think whether you have more respect for the people who've served their country. The answer, no or yes. Do you have more respect for people in the armed forces? Okay, fantastic. So 100% of people think they have more respect for people in the armed forces after this project.
After visiting the Arboretum, I wish that I could go there again now, and I feel really happy that they were veterans, and because it's a very big job to do, and I really missed them because they were really nice to us.